Good morning, guys. Welcome to video number 143, and this time again I have come up with something very exciting and something which you can actually also use in your office. So I have this question for you. Shashwat wrote me this email. In my workbook I have one main sheet which has a database, and I want to link the data of main sheet with the other sheets automatically. Is there any way to do so without VBA? Regards, Shashwat. So this is the file which I have opened, and you can see here in this sheet 1 we have a database. We have year, revenue, code item, code ID and item. So what actually we are looking forward to, we have sheets by these item names, and look at these sheets A, B, C and D and so on, right? So what exactly we want to do is we want to put a formula here so that from this sheet all the values of the A should be picked. So we should have this row number, we should have this row number, we should have this row number, and similarly in sheet B we should see only B data, B item data, which is like, you know, we have B here and then we have B here and this one and so on, right? So yes, of course, in VBA it can be done very easily. You can simply record a macro, but since your request is that how to do it without VBA, so right now what I can think of is we can actually use the indirect function, and with the indirect function we can prepare this. Before I go ahead, and so some of you may not be aware of this formula, so just quickly let me just tell you, you can go to my YouTube channel and I have already uploaded 4 videos on indirect. Go and watch all these videos. It will give you a good idea how indirect function works, and it is one of the most powerful function in Excel. And the bad part is that people generally do not even know about this function, right? Because initially it looks like, you know, very complicated, but it is not exactly, if you know the concept, if you know the basic. Similarly, you can even go to my website excelvblover.com, and you can go to the Excel training. You can, if you are looking for the Excel training, just go and click on the training course. This is the course which I provide online, where I train people in person, one-on-one, and you can even check all the videos. We have around 142 videos on my website, at the same time on my channel. So click on the video tutorial and it will take you to all these videos. So when you scroll down, you see that there is a category called indirect. So we have 6 videos here, and all the 6 videos are amazing because of the fact that, you know, every video is actually I have uploaded these videos based on your questions which I received. So it's a more of a practical questions which day to day in, you know, our Excel life, when we sit on the Excel, when we work on the MIS, we come across, right? So go and watch those videos, and in this video we'll talk about this, how we can actually achieve this using the indirect function. So what I'm going to do is, since we have already these sheets, so one thing which is quite clear, that in this sheet we will be looking for data A, right, for item A. So what we can do is just simply delete this and delete this. You can even select all the sheets using the shift key, and you can delete all the data from here, right? And now if you go to every sheet, the data will not be there. So shift is a key which you can press, and it will make your work very fast. You don't have to go to individual sheet. Now what we need to do is, see, we actually want to form a formula where we have these items, and we can collect the row numbers. Because if you see, if I can get the row number 2 for, let's say, A sheet, row number 5, and then similarly for B, row number 3, and then row number 9, and then row number 10, right, then I can get these values on these sheets very easily. And so this is more of a, like, we need to find out the cell address. So what we will do is, first of all, will write a function here. So I will say that leaving my first header as it is. So we will say that if my value in this D2 equals to A, remember I am writing it in your this quotes, right? If it is equals to A, then what I want to do is I want to get the row number of the active cell where I am writing the formula. Otherwise it should be a space. So when you press enter, you will get the row number, because in row number 2, which is this, you have the item A, right? So drag this formula until you don't see the blank row, right? So since I have this data only for, let's say, 11 rows, this is I think a dummy data, right? But this is how you need to do, so that's fine. We have this data here, we have got all the row numbers. If you see, I have got the row number 2, row number 5, row number 7 of my sheet 1, right? So finally I am able to now see these row numbers for A, right? This one as well. So this is what exactly I required. Now in order to have a cell address like A2, B2, C2 and D2, we need to form a column as well. We have already got the row number, but now we need to form the column number as well, because indirect always works on the address. And when you talk about the address, I mean cell address, which has a column and row number. For example, if I'm on this cell, you can see in this name box it says I5. I5 is what? I is the column and 5th is the row. Similarly, if you select this cell, then you see that it is G7. So G7 is what? G is a column and 7 is a row. So my 50% of work is done. I've gotten the row numbers here. Now what I want to do is I want to get the column number, right? So in order to get the column number, which is of course in the alphabet I need, like A and then B and then C, you can write it manually as well, because you have just 4 columns here. So writing 4 columns is not going to take much time. But if you have more columns, then I would say rather than doing that, simply do one thing, write 65 here and add +1 to it and then drag it. And then there is a formula called code. You might have not heard about this formula. Just in case if you haven't heard, then this is a good thing for you. Sorry, I beg your pardon, it's not code, it should be char. So char returns what? Char returns actually alphabet value. So in Excel, 65 is stored as a capital A, right, and so on. So if I now copy this formula, you see that I'll get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, everything, right? So I don't need these columns, so I'll simply delete them and I'll copy them and I'll paste them, right? So just paste them. I use the char function, char, right? It returns the character using the value. Similarly, if you want to, if you are in in the reverse situation, maybe, then to get the code, to get the value number from the alphabet, you can use the code function, code, and then use the alphabet, and this will give you the numbers, same numbers which we have used here, right? So this is a code function, and this is there we use the char function. Anyways, this is something which we do not need, and since I have paste value it, so I can even delete this. So this ABCD, now we need to paste it, so I'll select all the sheets together and I'll paste it in the same row number, which is 24, right? And now I'll come back to the sheet. Now here we want to now develop a function called indirect, but the point is you have your rows scattered here, 2, 5, 7. You want them in a sequence with no space, one by one below each other. So I'm going to use a function called small. So small means that I need the smallest number in this table. So in this table, the smallest number, which means 1, is going to be 2, right? And similarly, if I drag this down, then I have to change this smallest, this kth parameter to 2. So I don't want this manual process. So what I will do is I will select the row function. Okay, so row function will give me the number 2 because I'm on the row number 2. So I will subtract -1 from it. So I'm subtracting this, and this is how Now you need to freeze the table, so put the dollars. This is more of a like I would say that advanced level of exercise. So people who know Excel very well, they will be able to get the things very easily. And in case if you are not sure what is exactly is happening, I must tell you that you can go and watch all the indirect videos, and this will give you a good amount of idea. So now we have been able to get these row numbers one by one in a sequence. So this is what we are going to use, right? So let me repeat it for you because this is a little tricky. So what we did is, since we got this 257 according to the row numbers which are here in the sheet 1, like A is in the row number 2, and then we don't have A here, we don't have A here, and here we have the A value A, so it's the row number 5. So this is what exactly you're getting, but this is not the way we actually would like to use this indirect on these numbers. So we have to collect them with no space. So that's why I've used this function small. So small means the smallest number, first smallest, second smallest, and this is where you in the array you give the table, and k is used for the kth element, whether you want the second smallest, third smallest, fourth smallest, and so on, right? So row is a function which gives you the row number where exactly you are. So I have written this on the p2. So p2 means the row is 2, right? And if I drag it down, you will see that I will get all the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now since I wanted here the first smallest number, so eventually I'm on the row number 2, so I subtracted -1 from it. It's as simple as that, right? And then I copied it and pasted it. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to act as my kth parameter, and this is why I get these 2, 5, 7 and all the numbers. You can further put the error handling here just in case if you want. It is not required though. You can use the if error so that these errors they can be removed. So now if you drag this, you will not see any error, right? So your job is done. Now what you need to do is use the indirect function. So indirect is a function which means that indirectly you want to go somewhere without going to that cell. So now what we need to do is we'll say that give me the combination of this cell A and the row number 2, right? When you press enter, let me see, we are getting here some circular reference. So let's see. Let me just delete this and let's build this again. So reference text is going to be A and this 2. Okay, so we have a circle reference. Let me see what is the problem. Circle reference comes when actually you are using a cell which is a part of the same another cell. So we may have some problem here. Let me see. So we have here A, B, C, D, and if I just try to concatenate this, we can see that what is the problem. So if I concatenate with this 2, it should be A2, right? So I have got the A2 here. Oh, I see. My bad, sorry. And it's a good learning. Actually, I'm trying to say that using the indirect, go to the A2 cell, and I'm already in A2, and this is what I was telling you. You can't use the same cell again and again, right? For example, if I write here 44 and 55, okay, and let's say I say that equals to this plus this, right? So I get the sum, but at the same time if I try to again use the same cell, this cell which is already using the this cell D6, then if I try to sum up something like this, it will give me the circle reference warning. You can't use it doesn't make any sense, because this cell, in this cell we are already using this value, so you can't connect this cell back to this cell, right? So that was what we are actually doing. We were using this formula as a A2 in this A2 cell only. So what we need to do is actually we need to link this A2 which is sheet 1 A2, right? So when you link one sheet with the another sheet, Excel always forms the sheet number. You can see here I have a sheet 1 and sign of exclamation. This is the rule. If I link this within this sheet, then I don't see the sheet A. The sheet name is A, you know that, right? So sheet is not appeared. But however, if I link any cell of my sheet 1 with the A, then you will find that you see that I have got the sheet name A, sign of exclamation, and G14. So this tells us that we are actually linking this with which sheet. So now what we need to do is we need to actually form a sheet, because my data is with the sheet 1. So what you can do is, let me just remove this equals to sign. This is what we need to do, sheet 1 and sign of exclamation. So we can do one thing, we can simply write here sheet 1 sign of exclamation and then and we can put this sheet 1 in the quotes because it's a string actually, right? The moment you press this, you see that you got the sheet 1 A1 A2. Now this will work. Now what I need to do is I need to see that going down I should have a column only, but my row number should be 5 and then 7. So row number should be incremented. So we'll what we'll do is we'll simply freeze this A24 and not the A but only the 24 part, so that when I move this left to right it should be B $24. And at the same time in this L2 I want to freeze the column L, because my column L will be considered for all the values, but the row number should not be freezed, right? So this is a more of a cell referencing basic part. Now when I copy this and I paste this, you see this is what I will get. Right, let me just auto fit this. Now you can see that we don't have any cell addresses here, so definitely the reason is simple, because we don't have any further value in the main sheet. In the sheet 1 we have only 257, so just go there and use the indirect, close the bracket, and you will get your address. So just simply drag this, there you go. Wow, you haven't done any coding and you can simply get this wonderful trick done using the indirect function. So indirect function is so powerful, and I think also because we learned today a char function which returns the ABCD is actually again a very good tip. And how can we forget this small function, how it is actually generating all these numbers one by one, right? Now you can further put the if error handler here so that the errors should be avoided. So I'm going to put the space here, and now we can drag this. Wow, amazing. So this is how you can actually work on this sheet. Now let's quickly go ahead and let's get some values added. So let's say I'm gonna make this A and A. Let's see if we have these numbers here or not. Wow, automatically your data started populating. You see, you have got all the A elements, right, automatically, because the reason is your small function has picked up all the row numbers where we have applied this condition that if my this cell, which means this cell, if it is equals to A, then I should get the row number of this cell, which is 2, right? So if I reduce this, let's say, let me delete this. Now we have just one value here for the A item, so let's go back to the sheet. Oh wow, amazing, this looks great, right? So this is what you need to do in every sheet and you will be able to do it. So I would say that rather than doing that, simply delete them. Okay, if you have the rights, if you are somebody who is the admin of this sheet, simply right click here and move or copy, create a copy, move to the end, make it B, and here what you need to do is simply change this A to B. That's it, and drag this, right? Once you drag this, you will get all the values. Since we don't have enough value here coming up, so I think B is not here, so B is not here actually. So let me form the B here. So we have 2 items and these are available here. Similarly, you can again right click and you can create a copy further, move to the end, and this is, you can make this copy C, and here you can simply say that now this cell has to equals to C. So drag this and this is what you'll get, C, right? So this is how your data will start now auto populating. So I hope this video has made a sense to you, and for all those who are new to the indirect function, please go and watch all those 6-7 videos on the indirect. You can go to my website or you can go to my channel and be a part of my channel as well, because it supports a lot. And I want to thank you a lot, because you know, in last week I have got a lot of subscribers attached to my channel, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your emails, and continue writing me your emails, and I'll definitely go ahead and try to help you out on all your these day-to-day Excel problems, right? So having said so, I will come back again and I will try to upload another interesting video which can be useful. So thank you so much guys, and till then stay happy and very good day to you.